This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 533 for January 8th, 2018. Sharpened Coffee Table.
Let me grab my drink. It's my class.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Knobs.
What's up?
And Moonpear.
Hello.
One short, quick piece of business here, now that we're back from our holiday break. The brand new e1m1.com has been unveiled. It now looks a lot less like a steaming pile of garbage. So if this is the only show you listen to, go check out e1m1.com for the other shows on the network. But enough about that. Let's talk about the last 2 weeks of stuff we've played while we've been on break. Let's start, as always, with you, Knobs.
So did we finally get rid of our GeoCity site?
Sadly, yes.
Oh.
e1m1.com/geocities tilde... What were all this... They always had, like, neighborhood names, where it was, like, Electric Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's
so weird. Hammenegger Avenue.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so, man, writing this down, I had to do this, I started doing this yesterday because I was having trouble racking my brain. Well, let's talk about the games we played the most of recently. We played a whole bunch of Gears of War 4 over the break. And then we had one memorable night.
I forgot all about this until you literally said Gears of War 4.
It was a late night inconceivable round where we got started, and who was all in our squad? I think it was Ian there.
No, yes, it was me, you, Ian, Scott, and Donnie.
Yeah. So I was the engineer, running my nuts off, trying to keep everything fixed and reloaded. Moon and Donnie were the scouts, and Scott and Ian were the heavies. So we're getting through, and we're taking pretty significant damage pretty much through the entire round. Like, it was I wouldn't say stress-free, but we were working for it. Like, no round was really easy. We just kind of stay the course, we'll be fine. Just stay the course, we'll be fine. Work. Well, that was all well and good till wave 50, where the proverbial scat hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was hustling back and forth. I was picking up Scott and Ian a couple times just to make sure we're there. As I was picking up, I think you went down. I picked you up, and I died. Moon skirts around the entire map, gets behind the carrier.
At this point, everybody's dead. By the way,
all right, at this point, we're slaughtered, and we're debating whether or not. And he's smashing all our stuff. Moon grabs a drop shot pretty deep in the map, and fires off. What was it, 4 or 5 that land woefully short.
Mm-hmm. I'm bad with the drop shot. I admit it. I hate the drop shot. I don't use it.
So those who is so short. No ammo crate. He goes around the one side. We were playing a really long, skinny map. Comes in, picks up a drop shot. When you pick up a gun in Inconceivable, it has 1 round.
Oh, great.
Yeah, 1 round. So while all my turrets are still just kind of working themselves to death, just kind of ticking away at the carrier, Moon gets around within a reasonable shooting distance, I would say.
Yes.
It wasn't the 700 meter shot you were trying to take.
No.
With the hold release.
Well, come on.
I mean that was I wouldn't have attempted that shot. It was so far out there. But granted, we're on Inconceivable, and you're going to get one shot if you get hit by anything. So I understand the logic. He gets around the side of it, and literally lets off the last round in the gun, and it hits him, and we win.
an actual real Hail Mary.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
it was similar to the one time that I think it was Ian, Tomsey, and I were playing on hardcore with just the three of us, and they were both down, and I let off a drop shot through a window and hit the Brumac and killed him with it. But this shot was so, because we were so defeated at this point, like we were just done. Because it takes time. Like it's not
a half an hour.
No, because you're being downed in wave 1. Like you got to be on point that entire game, and once they start getting their multipliers up, it is a war. You got to be on your toes the entire time. So that's Gears. I finished the Master Chief Collection.
Yay!
On January 2nd.
Yes.
So almost made the year.
I'm going to send you a copy of Halo 5 now.
Oh, great.
Please no.
I really did not like Halo 3.
It's the worst.
At all.
I don't like that at all.
Halo 4's world seemed a little more interesting until it threw a different set of weapons at you that I did not want to use at all. Because they put a DRM in this game that was incredible. Except you get no more than, 40 rounds with it, and you peel through those quick.
Yeah.
And then you won't find another one for two hours, it seemed like.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't a fan of those alien weapons. And man, when you're in a firefight and you got to pick one up on the fly, that animation of it assembling wastes so much time.
The first time you see that animation, it's incredible. And then when you're actually needing to do it in a hurry, it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. And I will say this one thing about Halo 4. I am so happy I did not have to fight the Flood. Yes. Only to be outdone by drones everywhere. Which I think I hate more than the Flood.
That's an accomplishment.
You put one pill in those things and they go flying out of line of sight.
Yeah.
And you're like, great. So those things are going to heal and come right back, and then you're going to chase them down again.
And the worst thing about the drones in Halo 4, they do the inconceivable sin of they resurrect other people.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Not even after they're dead and they have this little glowy essence, I'm going to call it. And they resurrect the things you just spent all this time working everything down while they were coming by and healing them and chasing these things off.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It was a slog.
Yeah.
Absolute slog. But I did it. It's done, and I was so happy that ODST was not on that disc.
So,
right. Sweet freedom.
So
ODST is really good.
I am free, and I'm sure I probably would like that one the best. I probably did about a dozen runs in Enter the Gungeon. Man, I can't get by the bullet Gull.
Yeah.
The Gatling Gull. Oh my God. I just...
He's tough. Are you getting any of the other bosses? Like the Bullet King?
Yeah, I got
Brothers?
the Bullet King. I was about one shot away from killing him, and when one of those exploder balls went out behind me, and I didn't notice it go past me.
Yeah,
and it hit me from the back.
That's
so.
rough.
Instead of following the rotation, strafing around it, I strafed right into the bullet.
Yeah. I did have two notes about Enter the Gungeon because I played a little bit over the break because I didn't realize how much they had added to it recently. Enter the Gungeon does two things wrong that will trip you up really early on. One is, you know about the resourceful rat, right?
What?
Like, if you leave a weapon or ammo in a room and you leave and you come back, there's a little note that says, like, thanks for the gun, sucker, RR.
No.
Okay, so if you leave something in a room, the resourceful rat will steal it, because basically the game is saying, you need to use everything we give you. The only exception to that rule is keys. If a key drops, here's the hard part about this game is the shops don't work like they should, and if you pick up a key that drops on the ground during the level before you find a shop, there won't be a key for sale in the shop. And that sucks. But you can leave keys on the ground because the resourceful rat won't steal them. So basically you just sort of find your way to the shop, probably buy a key. You'll have a key left on the ground if you're lucky to have gotten one as a drop. You'll be able to open both of the chests on that floor.
Yeah, because I kind of got frustrated by not getting enough keys.
Yeah.
And not enough enemies there to kill to collect more keys or bullets to buy the key.
Right. The other thing that sort of ties into that is the progression of quality for chests is also wrong. So in this game, you have like 5 different chests: brown, green, blue, black, and red. And in most games that have loot, you would think it would go from worst to best would be brown, then green, then blue.
Right.
Not in Enter the Gungeon. I don't know why they did this, but it is brown, then blue, then green. Green is better than blue. And
that's so weird.
Ever since release, everyone has been saying, please change these. It doesn't make any sense. That's not how this works. Every loot game, blue is better than green, except for Gungeon. So if you get an option, like the only 2 chests on the floor are a blue and a green, you need to open the green.
So just change how you played every video game ever since Diablo, basically.
Basically, yeah. The rest of Enter the Gungeon is really good, and a lot of it makes sense, where if you clear out a room without taking damage, you get more shell casings. Like flipping tables will give you a piece of something to hide behind. Sometimes you don't want to dodge, sometimes you just want to strafe and get out of the way. But those
sometimes I forget that dodge mechanic's even there.
Yeah, I honestly don't use it a lot unless I'm fighting bosses, because sometimes your recovery time when you're done rolling and you're sort of getting back up to speed is
and
a little
you're planted
rough
for a second, and it's real frustrating.
Yeah. But man, Enter the Gungeon is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Jimbo Jangle sent me the Mummy Demastered.
Oh, nice.
And that's a really hard Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
And it's got a really kicking soundtrack, a lot like Axiom Verge.
Nice. That's up for voting for this month's Game Club. If you're a patron, go check out the Patreon page.
So I was kind of surprised by that, especially by the sound and that it was a licensed property, because that sure is Russell Crowe's face coming in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was like, oh, this is going to be something goofy, but I was like, oh my god, this actually is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But man, you take damage real quick in that sucker. Oh.
Yeah.
So I got to find me some orbs or something to boost my life, because it is woefully short. Played a whole metric ton of the Golf Club 2. We finished our season.
Congratulations.
For the first season, and we are working on our second tournament in this season. What we're trying to do is to get a new tournament every 4 days. Mm-hmm. Or once every 4 days we have a new tournament up to play. So it gives you a day to play around. Let's see, the opening tournament, I thought I was going to coast my way to victory because I found my swing.
Oh, nice.
Ended up throwing up on a scratch. I threw a minus 38, or no, minus 34 through 4 rounds, and I was feeling pretty great. And because Scott was struggling because he's got the yips right now, and then some dude says Daddy's day off, shoots a 33, just miraculously appears below me. I'm like, oh my god! All right, I gotta start playing better.
Yeah,
because that is all on my heels. And the second round, I think I finished 20 over on the next tournament. Which, man, that course shouldn't have been that hard, but man, that thing ate us alive. Absolutely ate us alive. And yeah, that game's solid. I mean, it's real solid, but we are constantly updating the tournament. Handicaps are enabled, so it doesn't matter how good you are, you will be competitive score-wise. Because now, since I shot good, because I had just whittled my plus handicap down to a scratch, which had me at 0. Actually, I was at a point where I was actually getting a stroke. I was playing so bad. Now I'm giving 7 strokes a round.
Jeez.
So if I'm scrambling for a par, I'm literally taking a bogey now.
Jeez.
So it's a good game.
And it's usually cheap. It's around $30 or less lately. So.
Yeah, and on that same note, they have a VR version of this game, which is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I started playing the Golf Club VR, and managed to hurt myself playing a VR game. I hurt my back. Not bad enough that it made my days uncomfortable for the last couple days.
Right.
Oh wow.
But it is awesome. Like the thing with VR, and it's the picture that's displayed on the screen is crystal clear. The way the ocular lenses work is it kind of focuses into one focus area, so you really don't want to move your eyes around a lot, but you just move your head. What's great about this game is it takes the Vive controller and actually coats it in what looks like a golf glove. So it has a golf glove texture on it. If you hold it up like you're looking at a watch, it pulls up your rangefinder and all this stuff. If you look through the hole on it, it works as a laser rangefinder.
Oh, cool.
That zooms in down the course. You can literally warp anywhere on the course, like just by pointing and releasing, and you zip to that point. So you can go all the way ahead and look back at your golf bag and kind of see what you have in front of you. Yeah. Which is neat. If you reach back in your back pocket, you pull out a tablet that has the scorecard look of the hole, and you flip it over and you got all sorts of stats and whatnot of how you've been hitting the ball. Oh, What's great is you don't put it back. You just kind of chuck it. You throw it.
I'm done with you.
It's like, I'm done with this. I don't need this. And you throw it away, or you drop it on the ground right next to you. What's great is, man, you can throw some clubs.
Oh, awesome.
It's fantastic. Or you hit a bad shot, and you just chuck a club, or you just beat your golf bag until it falls over.
So, curiosity, did you hit your back while swinging, or while beating something up for a bad swing?
Oh, no, it was swinging. I got way too into swinging. Like, I had follow through, hip turn, and everything, and I just like, oh man, there's no way to counterbalance this.
Mm-hmm.
But it does a really good job with the mechanics of the swing. Like, granted, you play with it with one-handed, which it's not real. I don't know, man.
It just feels weird.
It feels a little weird, but that's the only part that feels gamey. Everything else, like ball lie and the way the things roll, putting is. Oh man, putting's difficult.
Still a nightmare.
That is, man. I gotta find something on there. It's like, if you get on the green, just give me a 2-putt and then I move on.
Right.
Because it takes a lot of time on that green.
Mercy option.
Yeah. Just to speed up play, because I know a lot of the golf simulators do that. If you get on the green within 10 feet, it gives you the putt.
Yeah.
Or within 5 feet. I think it's a halo in most simulators. But yeah, that's great. I played some Doom VR.
Wait, VFR or Doom VR?
Yeah, Doom VR. Is it VFR?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking. Let's see if I can see the. No, I got it covered up. But no. So you have the little floaty hands that are just. They seem small, and then you're like, I don't. This just feels odd. Like, I haven't even got a weapon yet because it's crashed in a tutorial twice on me.
Nice.
So all I've been is playing like where it's teaching you the movement and how to warp and get to different places on there, or how to get from point A to point B. So still learning the navigation of it. But man, that first elevator opens up and that demon comes crushing right at you, and then you end up starting the tutorial from that point. So it's already giving you like a scare right before you even start the damn thing.
Nice.
But that's cool. I did mess up like with the orientation of the room. So it says, okay, calibrating floor. So it's just like, okay, I missed the part where it says set the remotes on the floor for the sensors to find the floor that you're going to be standing on.
Sure.
So my floor ended up being waist high.
I'm tiny.
Yeah. It was tiny. It felt like I was playing Ziggurat. But like I was just this like tiny thing running around the area. I'm like, man, I can't see. Like, can I get up there? Like no, VR is neat. Like I didn't really expect to enjoy this as much as I have.
Yeah.
Haven't had a chance to play Bridge Crew yet. I did purchase Super Hot, so I'm really looking forward to play that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your experiences with that.
Yeah, but Doom VR, you see that played and finished Ziggurat. Wow, did I not expect to like that game as much as I did?
Yeah. No, you just got to keep playing it. Unlock more stuff.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, the juggler, the acrobat. The acrobat is incredible. I love playing as the acrobat in that game. I played way.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've played way too much of this game. Like, I think I'm only missing 4 characters now. Yeah, I just keep on running through it. It's like, oh, I've got an hour. Let's do 5 levels of the Ziggurat.
Yeah.
Haste is a game changer in that. The second you unlock Haste, that I wasn't a big fan of it, but I unlocked Haste, and now anytime Haste pops up in a level up, it's like, I will take Haste because that makes me untouchable.
Yeah, that was, I mean, my only real complaint was early on, because I did not do well with the 2 opening characters. I didn't really get better at that game until I unlocked that 3rd character, like the monk-looking person.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started having fun.
Huh.
Because at that point, like, I felt like my strafe wasn't fast enough, and I felt so like stifled, like the movement. And then all of a sudden, I started figuring out how to get the upgrades and get the better things, and then move forward. And that arsenal's goofy and weird.
Yep.
In the right ways. Man, that Scarab Cane is my favorite.
Yeah, I think the Scarab one is probably my favorite. Or the Skull of Thanos or whatever it is, the spell.
The spell.
Yellow screaming skulls at people.
Yeah, I got an achievement for killing a skull with a skull, which was awesome.
Nice.
Head on.
That was a cool one. No, I actually ended up really enjoying that game. But I'm sure we'll talk about that later at another time. So let's talk about PUBG.
The elephant in the room, aka the elephant that takes all of everybody's time ever, because nobody on my friends list is playing anything other than PUBG.
Jeez.
It's so good.
Here's the thing. This game is broken in every way, and I know it's only half release. And man, I love this game.
Yep, me too.
There is all right. So I've been playing a fair amount like the last week, because initially I jumped in for a few rounds, like, all right, this is kind of neat, and then finally got into a squad of people and having way more fun, and then I started figuring it out. Figuring out what I'm looking for and what I want to feel not nearly as exposed in this game. And not going to the areas that are populated. And Heiko and I, Seven Hender, figured out a different, like a tactic that most people really don't seem to be using much, is you start as far out as you can and just chase the circle in until you get down to probably the 5th circle spawn. At that point, 70% of the field has killed itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can stay in there and you can position yourself in a good shooting spot, now we've been stuck in multiple scenarios where we've just been in bad positions, and you know, the game is punishing in a way that I haven't really experienced, and man, I don't think I've had this much fun with a shooter since Mag. Like it's got magic. Like it's something. It captures this frantic nature. Now, my first chicken dinner, it was Tomsy, Nintendork, Soulman, and myself. We won 2 chicken dinners back to back one night after we've been getting slaughtered for at least 5 rounds, like just not making it out of like the top 20 teams, like just not really doing well. And then all of a sudden we start playing awesome, and putting us in a position where I think those 2, Soulman and I, were both the last ones, and I was actually able to get the last kill shot, I think, on both of those. So we had a great night that night, and then we played again the following night, which is why this game might be the most favorite thing I've been doing for a while. The game's more about like making bad decisions and trying to make the best of it. So we spawn, and there's this one radio tower next to this military base, and it's on top of this really, really tall mountain. Now we're all kitted out, we're ready to go. And they're like, well, where do you want to go now? I was like, I want to go here. We made a decision. We're going there. So we go there. Now we're way out of the zone, and we can't figure out how to get out there. And then we get swarmed by 4 teams, just annihilate us. So naturally, we decided, it's like, all right, no, we're dropping there this time, and we're going to get the stuff. So Soulman missiles down to the ground. He gets in there. There's a guy skating in behind him. I'm taking a slow parachute down to this rooftop. I actually land on a rooftop, and I was like so happy. He's like, and there's Soulman in the room with this guy. He's like, oh, jeepers. There's a guy in here with me. Oh, cripes. I don't. If you ever played a game of Soulman, that's exactly the words he'll use.
Yes.
So they end up outside. I end up finding an M16 up on the roof, and they get outside. I pick the guy off. He's down, and then I see Scott walking towards this cliff side here, the side of the mountain. He's like, well, I wonder how we get down there. Oh God. So he falls. He's down in the middle of in the end of the geometry. Tomsy goes over to go pick him up. The story's going to take a minute, by the way. He goes over to pick him up. I pick up Mark. I go over to where Tomsy doesn't seem to be working his way anywhere near Scott. So I go over. I tumble down the mountain. Now I'm down. Tomsy finally works his way around and picks me up. Scott's dead. We get up. I think Mark was like scaling the wall, but he ends up being down, and every step he takes does fall damage. So he kills himself real fast while we're trying to pick him up. Tomsy and I end up on a motorcycle at this point. So the wall's way past us. We're probably at half health. So we get on the motorcycle. We start booking it. Tomsy's cruising down. Tomsy's driving. I'm riding, the lady seat behind him. And the death wall, the ring barrier's in sight. He loses control of it, jumps into the side of a house. We both take insane fall damage. At this point, we're almost dying. So somehow, miraculously, he gets back on a motorcycle, picks me up on the bridge. We do the tunnel run, like we're just the trench run. We're doing a trench run, weaving in and out of cars. We get through it. We get through the point where he's chasing the line. We're like right on the tip. He gets past it with a boost, and it gives you a circle halo of where the next safe zone is. He stops 10 feet short of this line, gets and stops, and we're all yelling, like, those 2 are down. They're in the peanut gallery. What are you doing? His words like, I gotta heal. I'm like, what? We're not in the zone. He's like, what are you talking about? We passed the blue line. Dude, the zone's right here. I run out and heal, and he's down instantly because we have like no health left at this point. But the whole frantic nature of this game is just, oh my god, it's so great, so great. And nothing was more excited. Like, I haven't been this excited winning at a multiplayer game, than I was when I won my first solo chicken dinner. Mm-hmm. Because I did the same tactic where I'm riding the outside ring. I haven't killed anyone at this point. I have just been creeping. I'm outkitted with an AKM with a ×4 scope, which is way too close when that ring is down to like 20 meters. And I ended up behind a building, and luckily, I stumbled across this guy laying in front of me, popped him, he's dead, and I crawled up and was able to snipe the last dude with a headshot for my first win.
Nice.
The great one was when I won duos with Heiko, where he called out this dude on the ground. I didn't see at all. I killed him, and I took cover behind this wooden shed, which is destructible, so there's bullets flying at me in every direction. I throw a smoke bomb out to the left, I go around to the right, pick these two guys up behind the tree. It was incredible. This game is full of so many great moments.
Yeah. I think the thing it does so impressive is the tension build. I've never had a game be able to, in such a short amount of time, build that much tension that quickly. It's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're already feeling tense. 30 minutes, and your heart is racing, and you don't know whether or not you're going to survive the next encounter. And it does that every single round. There's no backing down from it. It just keeps on doing it to you, and it's really effective and really fantastic for that tension building and those moments that stories are made of. Like, it's such a great game for that experience of it. Like, I think we discussed it, Nobs, like you said, it's the battlefield moments. It's this jet crashed directly in front of my face, and I don't know how that happened. PUBG is essentially that over and over and over again.
We were in a group last night, and we played a whole bunch last night again, and we got up on this hill face, and we're all like prone. We're all across the top of this, and they're like, "Oh, we're calling out vehicles and whatnot. They're coming at this heading, and this heading." And then there's this dude in this motorcycle. Like, he's like, Ian, watch out! This guy's gonna hit you. And he's like, all of a sudden, the guy boosts and jumps over him, does a backflip, lands, and scoots off. And we're like, did that just happen? What's going on? So, and then he loops around, comes back, and this dude, all he's doing is just screwing around. Just on a motorcycle, just doing motocross jumps, just having a ball.
Yeah. Until
he flipped himself on the radio tower, which was hilarious to watch from our vantage point.
His name was Ryan Pratt.
Yeah, there it is, Trials.
Yep.
There's Pratt's new Trials. But yeah, even that moment, just the rum done things. Like, we decided to push in the prison one time. I got killed, and it's us trying to call out where these people are, and I recorded it over my dead body, watching Scott trying to work his way. There's two guys in this one doorway. He gets past them. Mark gives him a bad idea. He's like, all right, no, you got to get out of there. So it looks like he slips on a banana peel. It's so great. So instead of Mark jumping or vaulting the item, he decided to go prone. And it looked like he just tripped and fell and flopped. The guy comes out of the corner, shoots him, and runs away.
Amazing.
I saved that clip. Is great. I love that clip. It's made me laugh every time. But the hard thing is that trying to explain these things that happen in the moment that are so great. Like, the crux of this game that I really love more than anything else is the scavenging part. Is getting your kit together, finding stuff, finding new places to drop so you can be outfitted better moving forward. Mm-hmm. The last solo round I played, an airdrop landed in the water, and I swam for like 3 minutes out to get it. I got the really big sniper rifle and a whole bunch, and 20 or 30 rounds for it. No, I only got 20 rounds. Got 20 routes for it, and then I was in full panic mode the rest of the time because I was so far out of the zone.
Right.
So then you're scavenging to try and find a vehicle to get back in the area, and that island is so varied that it's never boring.
Does that version have the desert map?
Oh
no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just, man, it's solid, and I cannot wait till they fix the network issues, the stupid control issues, and I wish it would control like other shooters, but I'm kind of glad it doesn't, because it's this weird thing you have to overcome to be successful in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Like, I cannot believe I'm having this much fun with a broken game.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised old Granddad Scott bought it.
Well, no, I bought it.
That explains that then.
No, he said he was going to get it, but yeah, it's I'm so happy because we have a text thread going back and forth, and he's like, all I can think about is playing this game.
Mm-hmm. It's the same. Like me and Jess are the same. I will come home every day from work, and she's already in PUBG, already playing it with somebody, because it's that much fun. Just to be able to take you on that thrill ride of calm to anxiety attack level over and over and over again, yet still be such an enjoyable ride every single time you do it. You'll get frustrated. There'll be times when you're out, first 10 dead, 4 rounds in a row. But you know what? It's 5 minutes you've just spent. Jump in again, have another go. And then when you get down to that last 5, be it squad, solos, duos, whatever, that's when you're just like, oh god, I've got to make this shot count.
When it gets down to 30 people, that game gets intense.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, like, the area that is shrank is so large, you have no clue where anyone is. And you got dudes running around in a ghillie suit and a 50 caliber sniper rifle that literally will one-shot you. I mean, when I had that gun, I had 2 kills in that round. And again, like, I'm winning with 1 to 4 kills has been my best round. Mm-hmm. With that sniper rifle, I got 2 kills with it, and I one-shotted both of them. And the zone killed me because I wasn't crawling fast enough. Or I forgot to pull myself out of iron sight, so he was crawling extra slow. And then I had my level 3 backpack, which would look like a snail crawling across the ground. But it's so really weird big. Because you think, like, I won't screw around with a shotgun anymore. I won't screw around with a handgun. There's only one submachine gun that I'll pick up. Like, I'm either picking up a nice, a good rifle, like an AK-47, the SKS, or an M4. And that's literally about it. Every once in a while I'll come across an AR, which those things are rare. But, man, and then you got to find the attachments for the guns, too, which adds another level of panic trying to make sure you're this, because shooting down iron sights is a nightmare. That cuts off so much of the screen. Oh, it's a good game. It's a good game. And it's half done. It's a 0.5. It's a 0.5, and I'm having a riot. So I'll be talking about this game for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the last game I played and finished was What Remains of Edith Finch.
Hey.
That game's good.
Yes. Yes, it really is.
There's a spoiler cast with Moon and I out right now where we talk about how crazy that game gets.
Yeah. That I kind of saw that ending a little bit off, but there are some things that dives into, like the fish packaging plant really hit home. Jeez.
That's a great sequence.
And what a brain teaser to control that area, too.
Yeah.
Real left brain, right brain on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hell of a game. I can't recommend that enough. It's fairly short. How long did it take you to...
A little under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you... Oh, go ahead, Moon.
I was just going to say, big shout out to the actual community on this one, because I think it was a couple of people mentioned it to us in Discord, but I think it was T-Bomb who pushed me to be like, just play it, and then that was the day before we recorded Game of the Year, and then I told you to play it the day before Game of the Year. I was like, just sit down and do it.
Yeah, I already owned it, and I was like, okay, fine. About 10 minutes in, once those first subtitles show up, it's like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to the community for that one, because thank you all so much for that.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Now I'm a shark.
That's
Wait a minute, what? All right, Moon, what do you have on your list from the last 2 weeks?
Like I said, played way too much Ziggurat. Like, way too much Ziggurat. Like I said, haste for me in that is the game changer. I just want to throw that out there. If you're playing along with our game club, as soon as you unlock haste, give that a bit of an embrace, because I always felt too slow, but as soon as you start getting haste up, it makes a big difference to the way that game feels. It goes from feeling a little crawly to much more like what I assume the Quakes and the Dooms felt like, where it's just so quickly,
almost so too fast.
Paced. Yeah.
The game felt a lot like Hexen.
Yep.
To me.
Yeah.
Or no, the original Heretic. That's what I thought I was in for. But the movement speed wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
I felt tiny in that game. That's the one thing that always drove me nuts.
The scale's a little weird.
It's a little weird. I did figure out how to recognize the secret rooms, though, so yay for me.
Oh, nice.
I did that too. And man, what a great way to pimp your development team like that.
Oh, yes.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic little touch when you go in the secret rooms. It gives you, like, this old game. This is the issues we had with it. This is when it was released. This is the flaws. It's like, it's the development team admitting where they went wrong in the past. It's fantastic. Like, really well done.
It's a really good Easter egg. I like that a lot.
So, you may have seen me tweet, starting 2018 with some divorce. Me and Jess played a whole bunch of Overcooked, to the point where we finished the campaign with 3 stars on every single level.
Jeez, were you playing that on Xbox One?
Yes.
Okay.
We're playing it same couch because you can't do online play on it, so we just sit down and play it on one TV.
That's the way you want to play it anyway.
You say that, but she's the save game host in this case.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get 2 achievements. She got every single one of them in the course of our 2-year-long playthrough. Mm-hmm. I didn't get 2. One of them for beating the game with 3 stars on every level, and one of them for beating the game. One of those achievements has a 9 gamer score. That achievement is the one which has taken me out of sync for the 0s and 5s. So, guess who's playing Overcooked again by himself? Yay! I hate games that do that so much. Get all these achievements in co-op, except for these 2.
Yeah,
Have fun with that.
That's the worst.
Yep. Went back, played a whole bunch more Assassin's Creed Origins. That game is incredible. I cannot recommend it to you enough. Do the secret cave stuff. Do the hidden machine stuff. It's so fantastic. I believe it might have been the last Hanging with Mr. Boston of last year. I believe you might have seen me losing my mind in the chat about things that were happening during those sequences. So
yeah, I scooped up a copy of that for $30 after Christmas. So
yeah, well worth it.
Coming up on the list.
Mm-hmm. So just we'll see that in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Played a little bit more Lego Marvel Avengers. This has been my wind down game. Lego Marvel Avengers. Don't know how I quite feel about it. It was on sale, so I picked up like $5 with the DLC season pass for like $2. So nice. I ain't complaining for $7 for a Lego game. They never go down in price.
Yeah.
So that's been my wind down game when I've needed just like, I just chill out, play something simple for a little bit. The reason I've needed that wind down game though is because I've been playing Tropico 5. I am El Presidente, and I am a monster.
El Presidente!
A terrible, terrible monster. Tropico 5 is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm going to make no ill will here. The only reason I started playing this game is because Jess needs to play Alpha Protocol, and this is the deal we have made.
That's a fair deal. Both of those games are good.
Mm-hmm. I take every achievement from Tropico 5. She plays Alpha Protocol. So, okay. Hey, she's going to get 70% of the achievements. That's what she does. I'm a 100%er. She's a 70%er. So that's fine. But yeah, that game is actually really fantastic. Very frustrating at points. I don't know how they managed to make a PC game so easy to control on the consoles, because that game is complicated on so many levels. There was one mission specifically where I would start the mission. I had 70% of my popular vote. Within about 10 minutes, it was down to 20%.
Yeah.
And
some of those challenges are mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty realistic is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But it's still so fun. I'm doing my best to be a good El Presidente, not a bad El Presidente. I'm doing my best to rule with a fair fist rather than the iron fist of justice. And it's going pretty well, but I'm just loving the story. Like, the campaign mode in it, I've traveled back in time now.
Great.
And I'm taking advantage of the stock market to increase my money so that we can reset the history of time, so that the Third World War doesn't start because the Illuminati have done something. It is
amazing.
It's incredible and stupid and crazy and so much fun all at the same time. It's just so enjoyable to sit down and do it, but like I said, it's one of those games where it can and will get frustrating at times, hence Lego Avengers. But I can't recommend this enough as that kind of game. For people who are interested in the city builders, Tropico 5 is a fantastic one, because it keeps the scale rather small, and I don't know how they did it, but the control scheme in that game is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you naturally flow from one thing to the next. It's genuinely great. And my last game of the break, I don't know if I really want to talk about this one, because I don't want to get people into it, but I kind of do. TheHunter, Call of the Wild, which is about as video game title as you can get. And just because I know you're writing it down, Boston, TheHunter is one word, there is no spaces.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yes. Because it messes me up when I'm trying to find it on my games list. Because it's in alphabetical order, the space comes before the H.
Incredible.
Yes. So, firstly, my wife picked this up on a whim, I believe it was. It must have been a whim. She had her eyes on it, whatever. Let's talk about how it's co-produced by Avalanche.
Okay.
I don't know if it's truly co-produced or not, but it uses the Avalanche engine. So, hey, do you remember how beautiful Just Cause was on the last generation?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the scale of Just Cause taken down from instead of 2,000 kilometers to 500 kilometers each way. That game is gorgeous. It might be one of the best looking games I've ever played on my Xbox. Now, I am playing the Xbox One X version. It still looks amazing on Jess's, and she is playing the OG Xbox One version.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a hunting game, except it's a hunting simulator game where you have a rifle, you have certain types of bullets, you level up by going out and hunting things. It takes into account wind, so where your scent is. It takes into account the noise you're making, the weather. You have different laws, different baits, different rifles, rifle calibers. If you have an ATV, but guess what? If you want to hunt anything, don't drive the ATV because it'll scare off all the animals.
Makes sense. Checks out.
I'm looking at Avalanche Studios' website, and the top banner on their game section is TheHunter below, followed by Just Cause 3 and Mad Max. Also, TheHunter Primal, which appears to be an one where you're hunting dinosaurs.
Oh, great.
With high-powered sniper rifles.
Yes, who's going to be picking that up at some point? Because this game is really fun. Like, really, really good.
It's one of those games where you hear it and you're like, yeah, okay. And you play it and you're like, oh man, this is really good. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And there is an XP system, there's a leveling up system, there's a skill system.
Oh, no.
You can track animals based on their prints, and then as you level up in the tracking skill, you figure out which direction they're going.
It's a little bit like Skyrim. Oh, I just leveled up my tracking skill.
Yeah.
I still gotta go get that legendary bear over there.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta go get the bald bear from the Great Outdoors.
You laugh, but it's actually really terrifying when a bear comes running at you in this game because...
It's terrifying when a bear comes at you in anything.
Yeah.
True. Condemned. Or Condemned 2, I should say. But, yeah, this game is great. Great to the point where, for anybody listening who is thinking about picking this up, Moon's going to impart some wisdom on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're tracking a deer or any form of animal, and you still haven't caught up with it after an hour, stop.
Just give it up.
Find a different animal to hunt. Because...
Maybe speaking from experience here.
Mr. Moon may have spent 3 hours tracking the same deer for it to loop around on itself, go in a little circle, and then boogie off into the distance with me just walking around in circles on these tracks.
The deer's behind you in a tree going like...
Exactly. That's exactly what happened because
Amazing.
I was playing co-op with my wife at the time, and when you pull up the way it does the tracking is really cool. You have white footprints. If you decide you want to track something, you hit X on it and you track those footprints, and then it turns any footprints or any tracking via footprints, feces, anything like that from the same animal is blue. Mm-hmm. Everything else is white. The same animal is blue.
Sounds like they could have used that in Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I literally did an entire lap around this. Like, I think it's like a 20-kilometer square map. I did a big loop around following one deer, got frustrated, and then quit. And then came back to it the next day just so I could shoot some more deer. And it does the Sniper Elite V3 thing. If you put a bullet in a deer and you don't down it immediately, it will run off and then you can track it with its blood. It will eventually bleed out, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a hunting sim. So
right.
Exactly. If you have to put another round into it, when you go to claim your trophy, which I love the fact that they call it trophies, when you claim the trophy, it does an x-ray vision of the actual animal and shows you what direction the bullet came in from, where you hit it, and what you hit.
Jeez.
So it can tell you, oh, you hit it here, but that was just a flesh wound. So the second time you hit it in the liver and the ribs, and that's what put it down.
Jeez.
So it's really cool. And I can't believe I'm having this much fun with this game that I didn't even know existed until Jess decided to randomly pick it up.
Yeah.
Those are always good games. Those are the games where you're like, I didn't even know I wanted this until I played it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sentence pretty much sums up my experience with TheHunter, because it's way too much fun just trudging through the forest, which the game looks beautiful. It gets sound down to a T as well, because literally as you're trudging through the forest, it's got a European location and it's got an American one, and it gets the sound down perfectly. Like, you can hear the cicadas, you can hear birds, trees, there's foxes running around which will make fox noises and scream and stuff like that. It's
fox noises, and the fox says,
"Wow! There's a hunter!"
In this case, the fox says, "Let's send off a warning call and scare everyone away. I want to go kill all of those foxes." But yeah, TheHunter, Call of the Wild, so much better than it should be. Again, if you're interested in playing it, I'm fine with that. I could do with leveling up my hunting a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that was another thing we didn't talk about in the pub, is the sound design is fantastic.
Yes, it is. It does that fantastically well. It also does the light travels faster than sound because you can see flashes before you hear the cracks.
Yep. Yeah, watching those gunfights go off in the distance is awesome and horrifying at the same time.
Yep. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Over to you, Boston.
I finished Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been waiting to start this one. What'd you think of the whole thing?
I was a little bit... I think the third episode is probably the weakest of the three, which it's still good, but I think the first two are a little bit stronger than the third one. The way they recap some of the stuff that happened in the first two episodes at the beginning of the third one is really cool. I obviously don't want to spoil it, but it kind of wraps up. You learn something at the end of the second episode that when they pick it up in the third one, they sort of reframe what happened in a different way, but without sort of making it into like an anime clip episode, which is pretty cool. I think there was a big story misstep in this episode that left me a little bit confused, but I think overall it was really good. I like how they resolved the storyline, especially with them leading into Life is Strange. There is a very short coda on the game at the end of the credits that leads directly into the first episode of Life is Strange. That is really good and also a really giant bummer.
Is it because you think they were stuck with having to tie that game up in a bow to lead into...
No,
that they kind of painted themselves into a corner?
No, it all felt really good. I think they resolved the storylines that they started, and if you've played Life is Strange, the whole question of the first game is, where did Rachel Amber go? Because she just disappeared.
Right.
And I think they handled that really well, and they presented... If you played Life is Strange before the storm, I think the coda on the end of the game is sort of twisting the knife a little bit. I think Before the Storm is great. I think to me, it stands right there alongside the first game. I think it's nice that it was only 3 episodes. I think if they would have tried to have stretched it into 5, it probably would have been a little too much.
They want to pull a Hobbit?
Yeah, exactly. I think they took the characters they have, and they took the storyline stuff that they had, and they focused on Chloe and Rachel Amber and their relationship and their sort of budding friendship and the ups and downs of that, instead of focusing on this huge cast of characters, which the first game sort of had trouble with every once in a while. There are additional characters in it, but they're never really the main focus. They're always kind of fun side stories. So I think if you liked Life is Strange, I think pick up Before the Storm. I think it's really good. The puzzles are really solid. There are no collect the bottle puzzles. I think they learned that.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think they learned that mistake. They even made fun of it in episode 5 of the original Life is Strange, which was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really want to spoil it, but I was really happy with where Before the Storm ended up, and I'm happy with my placement of it on my top 10 list, because I think it was on like 7 or 8 or something like that. 2017 was a really great year for games, and the fact that a really great game was at 7 or 8 says a lot. But yeah, go pick it up. It's been on sale lately. 3 episodes. Each episode is maybe 2 hours. Max. I mean, it's a pretty short experience, and they haven't yet released the bonus episode for the season pass people, which is called I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically Max and Chloe. Bless you.
Oh, sorry.
It's basically Max and Chloe again in a short little episode. Sadly, it's really weird. Sadly and fortunately, they are bringing back Ashley Birch to voice Chloe in this extra thing when she didn't voice Chloe in these 3 episodes, which is nice to see her back because she's the original Chloe, but I actually really like the voice actor that did Chloe in this game. So I don't know. I'm a little torn.
I did see the photo of OG Max and Chloe though, back in the recording studio with each other. It seemed like they were having a ball of a time.
Yeah, that should be a pretty cool little bonus thing. But yeah, surprisingly, Before the Storm was really good. Like I've said before, and like we said on the show, when it got announced, we were like, yeah, I don't think I need this. Not even done by the same studio. I'm okay, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
not making anything right now.
A Vampire, that
vampire
that's right. Blood-sucking RPG thing.
Because that seems like an organic move.
Yeah, naturally, time-traveling teens to blood-sucking gothic vampires. I'm hoping we'll see that at E3 this year because I'm hoping it's progressing pretty well, but they're pretty quiet about it, so which is good. I started the Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reload collection on my PS4.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of tweets from you with very bad language in, Mr. Boston. Yeah.
I'm really upset that I didn't play this earlier. This game the first game especially, is incredible. Basically, how I described it before, and now that I've played it, it has firmed up this. Basically, how this game plays is, one half of it is Battle Royale, the movie/book, where all these 15 students are trapped in this school, and to escape, you need to kill someone and not get caught.
What are the odds we were just talking about this while we were playing pub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a direct correlation there.
Yeah, except, this is the original Battle Royale, not whatever bastardization PUBG does. So, basically the rule is you have to kill someone and not get caught, and you escape and sacrifice all the other people. If you get caught doing it, then you get quote-unquote punished, which means murdered in a horrible fashion. But so a lot of that is like first person walking around the school and talking to people and investigating these murders, and the other half of the game is Phoenix Wright. Just and I wrote it down because there's a whole bunch of, a good half of the game are the class trials. And it really is, someone gets murdered, and you have to try and gather as much evidence as you can before the class trial, and you never really get enough time to gather everything to say, here's my concrete case. So a lot of it is figuring it out as you're talking through it with the other class members. But what's so great is there are a large number of people that are all talking back and forth during a lot of these scenes and trying to figure out how this person got killed. Because a lot of times you run into a place and you're like, oh, wait, there's a dead body here. Like, we have no idea who killed them, and half the time you don't have any idea of how they got killed. So people are flying back and forth theories and stuff, and some of the terms in this game are a little goofy, but it somehow works for it. You basically, phrases will show up in a different color when people are talking back and forth, and you basically use truth bullets to shoot down their lies. And
okay.
Outstanding.
That's incredible.
And it's really great because it feels very much like Phoenix Wright hitting that objection button where you're like, that's a lie, I got you. And basically you shoot the word and it shatters, and your character pops up and goes, that's a lie! And it's like, yeah, I got you. So you go back and forth with that, and you get more evidence, and you start pulling back the case and sort of figuring out who killed who and what and when and how. Every once in a while, you will run into somebody who is particularly stubborn about a point that you're trying to make. Half the time, it's not even the killer. Hi there, helicopter. It could even be someone that's saying, like, well, that's not possible that this person killed someone. Their alibi checks out. So to beat down their argument, you play a rhythm game.
Oh, wow.
And you basically beat down their argument by playing this rhythm game, and then you
dropping beats.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's really good. And then as you go throughout the case, by the very end, you've accused the killer, you've figured out how they killed them, where they killed them, when they killed them, all that stuff. And to seal up the end of this trial, it presents you with a comic book that you need to fill in blank panels on the comic with what happened in what order for the crime.
Okay, so apparently I need to play these games.
Yes. If you have a Vita, all 3 games are on the Vita. If you have a PS4, all 3 games are on the PS4. If you have a PC, they just came out on Steam.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, maybe I need to find a new memory card for my Vita now.
Yeah. It's so good. I think I spent around 25 hours on the first one, and the first game is from front to back incredible. And I immediately started the second one, and I'm trying to be patient because you spend, 25, 30 hours with a cast of characters in the first one, and then you have a whole different one in the second one. You're like, who are these guys? Like, they're not as good as my favorite characters from the first one, but the second one looks like it's way better than the first one so far.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm just about to find my 3rd dead body in the first one, or in the second one. And the first 2 cases have been really great. And really great, really long, and they added some functionality to them. Which is... So far it's really good. And I have to give Mina a lot of credit for helping me get into these, and I have to be mad at myself that I haven't played these yet. So they're both really great, and I can wholeheartedly recommend both of them so far. And the order of games apparently here is the first one, the second one. There's an anime called Danganronpa 3 that sort of seals up this whole story arc. And then Danganronpa V3 is the brand new game that starts a new story arc. So I'm pretty excited to dive into the anime, which is like 25 episodes, something like that, and then hop into the new game, which I just bought because I had an Amazon gift card. So
yay!
Diving full on into this. Oh, I forgot a game. Hold on.
Yeah, well, no, we were talking about the movie Battle Royale while we were playing PUBG, ironically. And then for that to come up again is just so crazy.
Yeah. I did start Horizon Zero Dawn. I started that at the same time I did Danganronpa, and I was like, well, I can play Horizon when I have, when I get tired of, reading in Danganronpa, and that hasn't really happened. So I think I've played 2 hours of Horizon. I keep reminding myself to not get itchy when I start an open world game, because I start seeing the map and it's like, okay, let me go. Like, let me start adventuring, let me start exploring. And the intro to that game is pretty long, but there's a lot of stuff in that game around sneaking and hunting and, taking down a lot of these robot dinosaurs. And so far it seems really good. And it is beautiful. I don't have a 4K TV, but oh man, that game is pretty.
It hasn't opened its doors all the way to you yet, though.
It's pretty close. I know I have like one more mission to do, and then I know it's just gonna say go crazy. Destiny 2?
Oh, great. How's that going?
It's not. Do I even need to talk about the dawning, or does everyone know about the poop storm that happened during this?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea, and I literally couldn't care less because they locked content I paid $60 for behind a DLC paywall. So
don't worry,
bye-bye.
that stuff's back. They just patched that back in. So the dawning is their Christmas event, their sort of winter holiday event, and how they've done it in the past. I'll try and breeze through this total mountain of BS as quickly as I can. How they've done it in Destiny 1 was you do a bunch of events and you'd get presents, and inside the presents would be like masks or sparrows or shaders that were all, snow or holiday themed. And it was a good event. You could just sort of do the stuff you normally do, and you'd get fun bonus winter stuff.
Yeah, Christmas gear.
Yeah. What they did in this is all throughout all the planets there are little piles of snowballs you can pick up, and you can throw them at enemies. Enemies will freeze. You can throw them at other players. They'll freeze. Fun time. They also introduced dawning engrams, and initially how it seemed was they were bright, the replacement for bright engrams during the holiday event, and they just started season 2, so there's a whole new set of rewards for the bright engrams, which is fine. I don't care anymore. The bad part is when you level up during the dawning event, it doesn't give you dawning engrams. It just gives you regular bright engrams. And the only way to get that stuff is to go spend real money on the dawning engrams to roll for a chance for the stuff that you want.
Yeah, so it's seasonal loot boxes. Yeah,
that sucks. That sucks because it's on top of... It's replacing a system in Destiny 1 that worked fine. And Eververse in Destiny 1 worked fine because you could buy silver, the in-game currency that you spend real money for, and buy the specific thing you wanted. Like in Destiny 1, I bought the Carlton dance because of course you do. I spent like $5 or $10 on silver, and I bought that one specific thing, and I was done. That's not the case in Destiny 2 anymore because you can only buy bright engrams with money, so you're opening a loot box for an incredible amount of loot, including a ton of shaders and mods, which are useless, to then potentially try and get the stuff you want. And then to add, during this event, another layer of loot box BS on top of it, I'm done.
What? How did this go so wrong for all these companies?
Well, like the worst
other
part
than
about
just
Destiny,
the sheer greed.
The worst part about Destiny 2 is Destiny 1, after 3 years, got to the point where it was good. You just needed to make another one of those, hit the reset button, and say, we're going to package up everything that we did right in Destiny 1 that we eventually figured out. Just put it out and say, hey, if you got bitten by Destiny 1 originally, we figured it out. Hop back in with Destiny 2. But they didn't. Like Knob said, it's really hard to not see this as such a greed play.
It is.
Yeah, like it's bald-faced greed. And it's incredible at the level of like naked, hungry greed that seems to be going on in this game.
Yeah, because I tell you what happened between Destiny 1 coming out and now, Overwatch happened. Where people have proven that they will spend big bucks to get seasonal things that are only around for a short amount of time.
Yep. But here's the difference between Destiny 2 and Overwatch, though. Overwatch, when you play during a holiday event, you get holiday loot boxes. That's part of it. Like, if you want that stuff, either you pay the money to get the loot boxes, which is fine, or you play a ton to get the loot boxes, which is fine. But cutting off the second half of that formula is where it gets real gross.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's, Gears had Christmas Gears boxes, but you still could use your same tokens you're buying other loot boxes or weapon
so if you had a bunch saved up and you want a Brumac with a Santa hat, sure, whatever. Like,
oh my God, that needs to happen.
Yeah. I'm available for some consulting here. But
do you really? Hold on.
Oh my God! Can we get a carrier? Can we get a carrier with a Santa beard? Oh my God! This is endless.
So
that would be great. But it would probably be your worst nightmare, Boston, to be responsible for coming up with seasonal loot box ideas. Come on,
it probably would be an evil genius. But yeah, I think
a snatcher with elf shoes. Oh my God! This is great.
There you go. I think that one of the biggest problems, too, continues to be Bungie. And this has been Bungie's problem ever since Halo 1 hit it big. They don't know how to communicate. They don't have proper product management in place. Their community managers have a very heavy yoke on them that they're They're very clearly not kept in the loop by the development team. And all we're hearing from Bungie about all of these complaints and all these issues are, don't worry, we hear you.
No, they don't. That's the thing.
Right.
I'm not going to lay all this at the feet of Bungie, because Bungie do have to take their acceptance in the role for this. I'm going to lay this 50-50. It's going to be Bungie, and it's Activision.
Well, I thought that until Jason Schreier over at Kotaku reported something a year ago that I missed, which was apparently this was Bungie's choice. Bungie came out and said, hey, we want to make the Eververse make us more money because putting out DLC isn't working for us. And Activision said, okay.
But when the stuff like that bothers me, though, because it says, oh, if putting out DLC isn't working for you, why isn't it working for you?
Right.
Attack the root of the problem, not the other way around.
Well, the other thing that was in that report was apparently Destiny 2 was rebooted about 11 months before it came out.
Oh, just like Destiny 1. That sounds about right.
Well, why aren't you learning why is this happening again and again and again? And if that happens to Blizzard all the time, they're constantly coming out and saying, like, yeah, we worked on it. It was our third version. We didn't like it, so we just scrapped everything and started back over.
You're not Blizzard.
They're not putting it out 5 months later. They're putting it 3 years later when it's done.
Right.
Why is the same parent company putting different pressures on two of their largest stars? Additionally, why did Destiny 2 not learn from Diablo 3? This stuff with the Eververse seems really similar to the Real Money Auction House. Obviously, for different reasons, but it seems like it's a thing that is destroying the core loot loop of your game with no end in sight.
Yeah. Because this will either become the norm or it will end. I'm expecting it to become the norm at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, what I think is sad is it's taking the joy out of the grind itself.
Right.
Because I mean, if you're in a game that you're willing to grind on it, I'll take Gears of War for example, because I think they do their chests right in that game. You have to play the game to earn the chests at the clip that someone could just buy them.
Right.
But on that side, you get a big boost if you gen out, where you get the max level. You give up all your stuff, and then prestige. You go forward again. Yeah, it's like doing the prestige. And there are people honestly, that's the only reason why I'm playing Gears anymore, is I just want to get that gen a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pretty much my main drive.
Yeah.
It's just, like, leveling, rinse, and repeat. How can I do this faster?
To me, Destiny 2 is such a misstep. They earned a lot of benefit of the doubt in the first one because it's a new franchise for them. It's a new type of game they're making. They don't have that benefit of the doubt. They already got it right. That was year 3 of Destiny 1. Everything was right. They just screwed it up again.
Yeah. Oh boy, do I really want to sit down and read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels now.
Yeah, you really should. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels chapter about Destiny is really good.
I actually picked it up, so it's downstairs waiting to be read.
That's a great book.
To be honest, the thing I'm taking away from all this is, hey, BioWare, all eyes on you right now.
100%.
Because you better come out the gate storming it with whatever it's called.
Anthem.
Yes.
Yeah, pressure is real high on Anthem right now, and I really hope they're not going to do the marketing move that I'm fairly sure they're going to do, which is going to be, let's step on Destiny 2 to make our game look better. And then Anthem's going to come out and not be good.
Hey, EA, pro tip. No loot boxes for non-cosmetic stuff.
Just don't be... EA, don't be you for 5 minutes. Just, I need you to not be you right now.
Be Dead Space 1. Be Dead Space 1, EA.
Yeah, too much money. Until the government steps in, it's too much money. All right.
No.
Let's talk about good games, not Destiny 2. Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah, I saw you playing this.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Boston. There's Chrono Trigger again.
Yeah. I haven't played Chrono Trigger for a real long time, and the guy who runs the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta started the Chrono Trigger Holiday Challenge, which basically you register the same way you do for Final Fantasy V, and it gives you your 3-person party, and you finish Chrono Trigger with them. My party is Marl or Marley. We talked about this on PUP. None of us know how to pronounce this lady's name. Princess Nadia. Robo and Isla, which is literally the last party I would have picked for myself. I don't think it'll be impossible, but I think it's going to make it pretty difficult to get through that game at parts.
Enjoy the grinding.
What's up?
Enjoy the grinding.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger's kind of easy by its, by default anyway, so it should be fine. And it's good to play Chrono Trigger again. I'm playing the mobile version on iOS, and they messed with very little of this game, which was smart. Graphics are the same, sound and music is the same. They changed the text boxes, which is fine. It's like a sharper font. They retranslated Frog, which is kind of a bummer. In the original version, he was all like thee and thou and sort of Old English proper. And now he just speaks very properly without that thee and thou, which is probably a more... Stupid dogs, closest one. Which is probably a more correct translation, but it loses some of the charm the original game had. Which is fine. I mean, that's a pretty minor thing overall. But for like a 25-year-old game, hey, Chrono Trigger is still really good.
Yeah, I like a good thee and thou. Give me a good thee and thou anytime.
Yeah, a shop with an E at the end of it. I want that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Old as well.
Yeah. Like Old English, the finest of beers. All right, and finally, last but semi-least, Wolfenstein 2. I have
Yay!
finished that game.
You did not like it.
Number one, some of the worst credits music I've heard in my entire life for any piece of media.
I can't believe they dropped the ball on that one after they nailed it on the Old Blood. Old Blood, probably my favorite credit song I've ever heard.
So here's the thing. I think that song would have been fun if it wasn't like this garbage, not even Screamo, like attempting to be Screamo, 4-minute long solo, like there's a choir of kids at the end. It was a mess. It's just, and for anyone who hasn't played it, it's Twisted Sisters, We're Not Gonna Take It, which is a great song and thematically appropriate. Just like the worst.
Just pay Twisted Sister.
Just put that version in. It would have been great. Oh, man. I overall was a little bit disappointed with Wolfenstein 2. I think nearly everything in this game was a little bit worse than the first one. I think the move to the Doom engine largely made this a worse game. I think the shooting wasn't as good. I think most of the enemies, if not all of them, were bullet sponges, and the character models looked real weird, especially Anya's face throughout most of it. I think graphically it looked pretty good, except for you're walking through a lot of fog and smoke, and you're walking through a lot of like God rays right in your face. What was that, Moon? Sorry.
I said,
I think there are a couple of standout moments in this game. The halfway point is obviously great.
Yep.
Just like Wolfenstein 1, you have a let's leave the planet moment. That was obviously very good.
I didn't expect that at all. And that's the last place I would have thought anyone would go.
Yeah. I thought that was really great. I thought the whole farmhouse sequence from front to back was really great. Especially how it ended as you're like falling through it. I thought a lot of that was great. The final boss sucked.
Yep.
That whole last level was not really that great. I thought the final bosses you fight were not great and then sort of anticlimactic. The ending was fine. I actually did end up liking Grace by the end because she played off that not preacher drunk guy pretty well. The two of them were a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I liked the Enigma machine, decrypting that stuff to put it on your war map.
Yep.
I sort of wish that was there a little bit earlier.
Me too.
Because
by the time you get to it, it feels like you're already full go boogie for the end of the game at that point.
Yeah, and it's nice that they just drop you back in the game once you're done, so you can go do that stuff. But I was sort of done with the game by that point because I needed to move on to other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a cool idea, and it's nice to revisit those places, and they give you a reason to do so.
Yeah. What did you think of the daughter of the villain? I can't remember her name for the life of me.
I don't remember what her name is. I liked her. I liked her from the beginning. I always felt badly that she got picked on by the other Nazis, which is a really weird sentence to say, especially in 2018.
Shouldn't anyone, no one should be picked on by Nazis.
That's true. They're not even humans.
She had a really great personal moment in that little submarine. I thought that was awesome.
Where she fought back.
Yeah, where she eventually fought back on that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked her. I actually liked a lot of the characters by the end of it. I was a little bit disappointed by the submarine because I felt like it was a little too big with not really a ton of interesting stuff there. I liked the hideout from the first game because it was just packed full of cool stuff to look at and cool little rooms to explore. I don't know. Wolfenstein 2 was good, and I think the first Wolfenstein was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a high bar.
I still think you need to play both of those. I still think they're sort of required reading. Like Knobs and Moon have said, please God set the second game to the easiest difficulty. It is still way too hard on that difficulty. Especially the ending of that game, where you essentially have a BFG, and it is still pretty difficult. I have heard mention that they want to make this into a trilogy.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of places.
I think that would be a smart choice if you maybe give it another 2 or 3 years. I think you want to come out with one of those every 2 or 3 years, and that's good. And maybe sort of wrap it up at 3. I don't think you want to go much past that. Don't make the Quake problem.
No. I've heard the developer talk about how they did plan for this to be a trilogy, depending on how well the first one went, which is why they left the first one open. It's why this one ends in a specific way. It's why somebody escapes in the off-Earth section. Right. They escape for a reason, because they have hinted that the Wolfenstein trope will be in the third game.
Right.
Oh my god, it has to go to Mars now.
Yeah, exactly. Tie it right into Doom.
Here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go to Mars. He's gonna get locked in a stone tomb.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Credits. Soulman in chat asks, too hard or poorly balanced? Sort of
both.
Both. Yeah, I think the enemies are a little too squirrely and take too many bullets, and I think the balance, they too early on, they throw too many difficult enemies at you at once. Especially once you get like the Iron Man Mark I enemies, and they're like, well, here's 1, here's 4 of them.
Oh yeah, especially I got really frustrated at when you first end up on the flying Nazi ship. Mm-hmm. When you're on that, where you had that one corridor where you were on the exposed side of the helicarrier, where it's trying, and you can go down, around, and underneath them. Is once you engage one, you are surrounded almost instantly.
Yeah, by like 50 dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you are not equipped to handle that fight.
No. I think overall, like I said, this game's good. And I didn't hate playing it. It's not like I got done with it and I was like, oh, thank God, the nightmare's over. But I think...
Not Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the weight has been lifted off your shoulders. But I think when I look at Wolfenstein 1, I think that's a more solid game from front to back. But I did enjoy Wolfenstein 2 nearly the whole time through, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out.
I can't believe we're talking about a Wolfenstein game in 2018.
Yeah, and it's good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I know they're starting to come out with their side story DLC, and I've heard previews of the first episode is really good because it doesn't feature anybody from the main game. But I'm sort of interested to see where that's going to go because I think they're talking about releasing 5 episodes.
Yeah, there's 5 slots in the Wayback Machine that you sit in to access them. There's 5 cards basically. So
we'll see.
I have the season pass, so I'll probably play it.
That could be interesting to go back to and play some cool couple hour vignettes in there. So, but that's all I've been playing. So let's take a break.
Welcome back, everybody. We got releases. And caught me mid-burp. This week for January 8th, Happy New Year, 2018. The Escapist 2 for the Switch.
I bet that would be pretty good on the Switch, as long as they let you use... Switch is a touchscreen, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I think.
Moon is definitively saying yes, so I'm going to say yes. That would be pretty good, I bet. Put Tropico.
That would be a weird move if that wasn't a touchscreen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to look it up.
It would have to be.
Touch.
How do we not know this?
I have never put hands on a Switch.
I've never
I saw 3 kids with them over Christmas. At our family get-together. There was like 3 Switches in the room. I was like, that's bigger than I thought it would be, but also smaller than I thought it would be.
Here's a great Reddit thread, reddit.com, the Nintendo Switch subreddit. Real question, why does the Switch have a touchscreen?
How could it not?
Why would it not? Anyways.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Maker 2, there you go.
There we go.
There's the answer to all of your questions.
Thank you, Jimbo Jangles in chat. Says, yep, touchscreen. All right. So I bet that's pretty good if it uses a touchscreen.
I called it as a touchscreen. Where's my thank you?
No, you're good.
No, see, we fact-checked you on that. That's like Googling in the middle of an argument. That's what we just did. Furry for the Switch as well.
Okay. Is this a game or a TV show or something completely different?
It is the PS4 and Xbox One title Fury. That is the boss rush, the cool stylized electronic boss rush game.
Okay.
Not the tank movie.
Yeah. Not that. And Super Meat Boy for the Switch as well.
Yeah.
Good call.
That's a
old
good place.
Game, but good call.
That's a good place to play it. Remember, it does not have the original soundtrack. So
on second thoughts, maybe no.
You can just mute the sound and put a playlist on YouTube. It'll be fine. It's still a great game.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to news stories. We have a ton of them. And starting up, the most important, which is the Meltdown and Spectre hardware flaws for modern processors. I'm going to get something wrong. I apologize in advance. So
yeah, I've had people talking about this, and there's been chat going on about Discord. I'm generally speaking blind going into this. Boston, educate me.
So let's start off with the high-level risk. Every processor that is on the market now and has been on the market for a while, including mobile phones, Intel, AMD, ARM processors, have at least one of these 2 hardware flaws. They cannot be patched with microcode, which is basically processor firmware. They have to be patched in the OS. The big reason a lot of people are talking about this is, number 1, patch your OS for the love of God. This is like a all stops, you have to get this patch sort of thing. The other reason is you will take a processing hit. For most people, it's going to be negligent. For all of us on this show, it's going to be negligent. Yes. It will be. It's like 2%. It's literally not a big deal. for people that run servers, especially if you're playing Fortnite, it's a real problem because the more a processor is getting used, the more it gets hit, up to around an estimated 30%. Epic wrote a post about Fortnite. As soon as they started patching their servers with this issue, they got hit with a 50% processing increase. So if you can't log into Fortnite, that would be why.
Yeah, that was a day or two I couldn't. That explains it.
Yeah. So let's try and explain what this is. So Meltdown is the more prevalent one, but a little harder to explain because it deals with speculative execution. So basically what it is when your OS sends instructions to your processor, it speculates, let's keep it simple, speculates the two different ways that instruction can get executed. The one that actually wins gets executed, the other one drops off and just gets discarded. This has been in use since Windows 95. Like it's been a good 20-something years. The main problem that is an issue right now is all processors do that. Intel's processors do that in a really aggressive way. So Intel processors get a much larger hit because now we have to stop doing that speculation. Because if there was an exploit, we don't know if there were any exploits in the wild, it takes advantage of the hole that exists from the execution that gets dropped. So basically you can hijack that and sort of worm your way back in to taking over a lot of stuff and potentially getting access to the kernel of the operating system, which is the place you don't want rogue code being.
Correct.
So that's Meltdown. That's the highest level. Patch your operating systems. This also, both of these affect phones too. So whenever you get an update on your phone, update your phone as well. Spectre is the harder one because this also affects AMD and ARM chips, but it's a wider attack and harder to understand and harder to get around because basically it starts breaking down the barriers between programs that users are running. Basically nowadays you sort of have to, every program is sandboxed off and they are all separated by themselves. Spectre starts to bring those walls down, so programs can start hijacking other programs, which is when it gets real bad. Some of those programs can also be the kernel of the OS. That one is going to be a little bit harder to patch, so as always, keep automatic updates on your OS. And I don't know if there's a firm way of how to fix that right now, other than Intel, AMD, and ARM manufacturers need to make different chips.
That seems to be what's going to be the $100 billion question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that now they pretty much their entire current stock that's out there has been compromised. That's insane. That's insane.
And the real nasty thing about Spectre especially is it can affect virtual machines. So not only can it affect one machine, but if it infects a virtual machine host, it can then also affect all of the virtual machines running on that host or that VM cluster. So, I mean, this is genuinely, without hyperbole, one of the worst attacks since, like, in the early 90s. There was that one attack, the Michelangelo attack, like, where antivirus programs came from. This is on that level of Windows, OS X, and Linux need to change fundamentally how they operate.
Mm-hmm. So essentially is wait for Intel and AMD to take the hit because they're going to be the scapegoats on this, and then they're going to have to shovel out some sort of hardware solution for this exploit. This is what we were talking about before. Is like, was this backdoor there by design?
Well, and it's not. The hard part is it's not really a backdoor. It's they made the chips and the operating systems act this way because it's the fastest and was the safest way to do it. Until it wasn't.
Right.
Until someone figured out, oh wait, I can take advantage of this, and a whole bunch of researchers recently just submitted it and said like, hey, this is actually a really big problem. So we need to fix this right away before it gets unveiled. And thankfully they did. Linux and Windows, Linux kernel has been updated, Windows has been updated, and OS X is going to be updated pretty soon. So, patch your stuff. This is real bad. People are going to lose a little bit of speed, but it is better than your whole machine being compromised. So
glad I bought a new computer.
Yeah.
So glad I have to build a new computer. Well,
don't worry, all your stuff is going to be compromised as well. So
yeah. Like until they release a new chipset, this is going to be a persistent problem.
Yeah, it'll be fine for now, but yeah, new chipset is really where it is. Soulman in chat says, important to allow your browser to patch too, since the best inroad is Java. That is correct. So patch everything. Just leave automatic updates on. It's not Windows 98 anymore. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah. You have the horsepower to weather it.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of being dead, Mad Catz is back from the dead.
What?
Cool.
Yeah.
THQ, Mad Catz. Where's Majesco when you need them?
Well, do we need them? So, interestingly, the company is now known as Mad Catz Global Limited and was purchased by a Hong Kong company, and they're basically bringing it back, and they're sort of crap-talking the old Mad Catz, saying, quote, the new Mad Catz will focus first on quality, committed to producing innovative gaming projects, blah, 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 blah. Basically saying, like, hey, remember Rock Band? We're not going to do that. We're going to put out good keyboards and mice. That's what we're going to start with. So, interesting.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real thing is, it would be nice if they eventually got into the fight stick market again, because they made good fight sticks.
Yeah, the recent set from them all seemed to be top of the line. Everybody was talking so highly about I think it was the Street Fighter V stuff they came out with last.
Yep.
Everyone was raving.
Even the Blaze Blue kits were real nice too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was on par with any Hori that I ever touched. It was it was surprisingly really well made.
Yeah. And, one thing rises from the dead, so something else has to get buried, and that is the Xbox One S and Xbox One X Kinect adapter. Microsoft has shockingly decided to stop making that accessory, saying they're focusing towards, quote, new, higher, fan-requested gaming accessories, end quote.
Wireless headset?
Give me my headset.
Maybe now they're focusing on it. Maybe that's why they just finally put the bullet in the Kinect adapter, and then they could make that happen. One lives as one dies.
A life for a life.
Yeah, exactly. A life got rescued in Elite Dangerous this past week. The Fuel Rats making headlines yet again.
Yes!
Our favorite Elite players rescued a woman who was on the remote system of Semitis Beacon, which would have taken two actual days of full-time flying to reach her. They
do we know the light year count?
Many.
Whole bunches. I don't know. I can't see. They live streamed it, so I'm not entirely sure. But I'm surprised, Moon, that you didn't know that number. I was going to lean on you pretty shortly.
No, are you kidding me? There's millions of star systems in that game, millions of millions of clusters, millions of planets. I wouldn't know it. I'd know roughly where it is. I mean, I'm guessing if they're making headlines, then it's another jump past Sagittarius A, which means it's from Earth cluster to Sagittarius A, which is the center of the universe. That's about 20 hours by itself just to get there if you are non-stop jumping. If it's 2 full days, then you're probably talking about the same amount of distance past Sagittarius A, so probably the opposite end of the known universe.
Jeez. Yeah, from the original stuff I read, excuse me, when this person sent out the help beacon was, yo, I'm way out here, like, all the way out, and I might have forgotten to refuel when I came out here, so can someone help?
It's literally, the funny thing is, it's when you're in Elite Dangerous, the second you get a scoop, a hydrogen scoop, it's the first thing you learn how to do, and it's the first thing you forget to do when you need to do it.
Yeah. It's
so easy to accidentally forget it. I'm actually going to see if I can pull up the news story now, see if I can shed any more light on it, but I give the Fuel Rats credit. I'm actually disappointed because I'm obviously now I have a job, now I'm financially viable. When they saved me, I wasn't at the time, and I went on their site recently and was like, oh, I know, I'll get a Fuel Rats mug. I like me some tea, I like me some coffee, I'll get a mug. They've shut down their merchandise page, so I can't actually get any merchandise.
Bummer.
Because unfortunately, the guy was doing it basically out of his own pocket and not making any money on it. It was just a hobby thing, and real life, as it often does, took over from this situation.
Well, once again, big props to Fuel Rats.
Okay, he was outside of the galaxy. That's
great. Yeah, so she had mentioned she had managed to somehow go all the way out there, and thanks to the Fuel Rats, got the help she needed.
Yeah, so basically, after you get past the actual galaxy itself, the further you get out away from Sagittarius A, the further the distance between the stars. So if you've only got a ship that can jump 20 light years, you're only going to be able to get a certain distance out before the jumps become impossible. Other ships have got 30, 40, 60 light year jump capabilities, so they can go further out. Problem is, the further out you get, the less stars there are, which produce hydrogen, which means it's harder to find places to fuel up. Right. So you might have to go 3 jumps without fuel before being able to get any. And when you're outside of the galaxy, that then becomes nigh impossible. And real-time flight, you're probably talking a year just to get back. Like, real-time, set it on autopilot, put your thing on, and just go.
In 2019?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Good job on you, Fuel Rats.
Yeah, I love the Fuel Rats. Like, it's the type of community that is the best community.
Yeah.
Ours aside. Ours number 1, Fuel Rats number 2.
Of course, yeah. Next news story, Platinum Games has announced that they are going to self-publish 2 healthy-sized games. They're basically what they're saying is they don't want to make quote-unquote indie games with just a handful of people. They don't want to they can't self-publish a AAA game because they don't have the money. They're going to make, like a 20-person game where they're going to make a game of a healthy size and just publish that by themselves. So it seems like they're taking the Ninja Theory route where they're going to make a good, solid game with the team they have and just put it out themselves. So with how much trouble Platinum Games has had in the last 2 years, I think that's a really good call.
I think it's a good move on their part.
Yeah.
Plus, they'll be able to do what they want to do and not be beholden to the man.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially Nintendo, because it's the only company. Nintendo and Square Enix are the only 2 companies giving them money right now. So, which is sort of weird, but interested to see what they're going to do when it's not Bayonetta, Nier, or licensed games.
Yep.
Like Nob said, I'm curious to see what they're going to do when they make what they want to make. So
I'm curious to see what that is.
Yeah. Double Fine has announced that Psychonauts 2 has been delayed until sometime in 2019. So
it begins.
My heart
First
breaks.
episode.
Yeah. It was originally planned for Q3 of this year, and they said it just needs more time. So take the time you need. I would like that to be real good. We talked about VR earlier in this episode. Star Trek Bridge Crew no longer requires VR headsets. So, for those of us that don't have the scratch of the room, now you too can be on a less 3D spaceship.
Yeah, this screams to me we couldn't make money.
I think they made money enough, but I think they just want more people playing it.
I would agree. I would agree because some of those streams have been some of the funniest streams I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to jump in there.
Yeah. And last but not least, Nintendo has announced that the Switch is now the fastest-selling console ever in the US. In 10 months, it has sold 4.8 million units.
Good on them.
That beats the Wii, handily.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's probably a terrible time for the joke, but I can't wait for the Switch U.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Switch is really crazy because when you looked at the Wii, moving to the Wii U, it's sort of like, yeah, okay. And you look at the Switch and you're like, oh, okay, you got the Wii U right this time. Cool.
Yeah.
But where do you go next? Like, do you just put out the next one and it's the same thing, but it's just more powerful? Do you put out a new thing, but you don't have to have a new dock? Like, where would you go from? Put 3 screens on it? Like, I don't know, the Switch DS?
The Switch fold up.
Yeah.
The Switch 3DS is probably where it's going to go next.
I don't think they're ever going to do 3D again.
I know they won't. I think they learned that lesson.
Yeah. Especially with how well the 2DS sells. And, you know, all of the marketing and all the packaging on the 3DS is always, if your kid is under 5 years old, don't let them use the 3D ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want to go through that again.
No, probably not.
Yeah, because you're telling someone not to use a portion of their product. That's
right.
Not
that
good
has a
business.
Switch on the side of it. Like,
yeah. Like, there's a switch in a car. You're going to push it.
Right. There's a big red button that says eject. I'm going to push that.
Yeah. What's going to happen?
Yeah. Whoops.
It says it right there in the button. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Well, I didn't think it would actually happen. All right, let's move on to questions. T-Bomb Rocks at Discord asks, what games are you looking forward to most in the first quarter of 2018? For me, it's Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Monster Hunter. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is way up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
20
in a
days.
couple. Yeah, that's in a couple weeks, and then I somehow Monster Hunter has piqued my curiosity.
I think if you've never played a Monster Hunter before, it seems like World is a really good starting point.
Yeah, from discussing it with Mina in Discord, like, I haven't played a Monster Hunter since MHFU, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, way back when on the PSP. And it seems like I wasn't part of the show at that point, and I distinctly remember Boston started playing it, and my response was, "Oh, play the tutorials with all of the classes and see which one you want to play with." Your response was, "Yo, dude, there's 50 different weapon types. Go to hell."
Yeah, that game's intense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they're making it more accessible now.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm hoping will get my wife to play it, despite the fact that I am going to be the character class that uses a sharpened coffee table as a weapon.
That was the best line I heard of that description of any weapon that I've seen in that game. Is it's a sharpened coffee table.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those games come out January 26th.
Oh, it's 18 days. I thought it was 20, hence 20 days. Yes, 20 days.
What else comes?
Crackdown, I think, is for first quarter, isn't it?
I think so.
Crackdown. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have. Does that have a specific release date yet? I don't think it does.
It was supposed to be third quarter last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be holiday this year. We all know that. Let's just not get our hopes up.
God, I hope not. I'm not seeing a ton of other stuff coming out. Metal Gear Survive comes out in February, but let's look. Crackdown 3 release The hard part about 2018 is all the games came out in 2017.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else we have left that we really care about. Crackdown 3, obviously. I don't care about Days Gone or Long Days or whatever that. The new God of War is going to come out sometime this year, but there's no release date. I'm excited about that. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I'm excited for PUBG patches. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been excited for a patch for a game in my life.
Dissidia of Final Fantasy NT comes out this month, but I'm waiting on that to see if that has a story mode.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm literally only excited about 3 games so far this year. Crackdown 3, despite my best judgments, I'm still excited.
Yeah, me too.
Monster Hunter and PUBG. When that hits 1.0, it will be great. I like the look of Fighter Z. I really want to play Fighter Z. I might buy it to support them. I will never play it because I'll do what I always do. I'll put 2 hours in, but you think, that was great! That was $60 well spent, and then never play it again.
But man, those 2 hours are going to be good.
Oh yeah. I saw the Yamcha gif. I was thinking, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you made Yamcha look cool? Alright.
Yeah.
Sold. T-Bomb Rocks also asks, what was your favorite gift you either gave or received this past Christmas?
My t-shirt.
I got a pair of headphones I asked for. It's like $30.
Actually, Donnie got me a nice gift here. He got me a glass that's laser etched.
Oh, nice. It has the logo, the show's logo on it.
Yep.
That's classy.
Okay, that is kind of cool.
Yeah, good job, Donnie.
Yeah,
Cowboy. I didn't really give any gifts this year. We don't have a lot of money.
Nope.
And we have a kid, so I don't. I gave my kid a bunch of books. She likes books.
I got my wife the hoodie for the class of people in Dragon Age Inquisition that I can't remember the name of. Not the elves. Oh, not the mages. Not the
lion people.
The Kinari.
No, not the mages. Not the Templars. The other one.
The cat people.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The all-seeing eye logo in a circle.
The fantasy people.
Yes, the Inquisitors. Whatever they're called. I got my wife that hoodie, and got myself this hoodie. Wait, that's the wrong side.
Yeah,
that's the right side.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought myself shelves.
There you go.
Yeah, we need shelves. That might be a birthday present for myself.
You want to know how we're adults?
Oh no. You can tell we're adults because literally this Christmas, not being in England around my family who will spend as little money on me as possible. I love you, family, kind of. I didn't get any underwear. I didn't get any socks. I didn't get any pajamas this Christmas, and I was disappointed.
My mother-in-law bought me a package of socks like she always does at Christmas because it's sort of a joke by this point, except she accidentally ordered the wrong thing on Amazon. She didn't buy 1 pack of 8 socks. She bought 8 packs of 8 socks.
Oh, wow. You have socks for the year.
I maybe have too many socks now.
I didn't get any, and my birthday's coming up. Just saying.
That's hilarious. You get this giant package of socks. Oh my god, I need to troll somebody with that once.
Yeah.
This huge box, and it's nothing but socks.
It's so good.
A refrigerator box full of socks. That would be worth every penny.
Yeah. All the $25 you spent.
Yeah.
Icetown on Discord asks, aside from Prey, what was your biggest pleasant surprise of 2017?
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
That game is incredible. Which, I've been thinking this over. Boston, how much money do I need to donate to the TVGP fund for you to stream you playing that game? Give me a number, a solid number, and then I'll work with the community.
I will have to think of the Crying Tears Patreon tier.
Yes. Give me a number, let me work with the community, and we want to stream you streaming that game.
I want to say, if you cross out the word pleasant in this list, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, that was a surprise. What Remains of Edith Finch, there was a really pleasant surprise.
I think the Life is Strange Before the Storm was probably a pleasant surprise. Going into that was sort of like, I'm going to hate this. This thing's going to be a real turd. And sort of half an hour later, sort of like, oh, actually, this isn't bad. All right. But I mean, still Prey, though. Go play Prey.
Yeah.
Prey is like $15 everywhere. On every platform. Go play Prey. At least try it.
I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, that game was such a genuine surprise because I just picked that up on a whim.
I got angry all over again because I saw someone online saying, oh, it was Steven Totillo over at Kotaku, because he wrote this article about how he and his wife gave birth to twins this past year, and he played 106 games, which, what, how, why, what? But he started Prey and never finished it, and he said, that's okay, because I hear it gets real bad near the ending. And I'm just like, rage!
Oh.
It doesn't! Shut up!
Mm-hmm.
And then he talked crap about Doki Doki Literature Club, where he's like, I played about half an hour of it and I couldn't really get into it. And it's like, it's a 2-hour game. You couldn't put 2 hours into... Fine. Fine. Go play Prey. Prey's really good. Fifth Horseman on Discord asks, what game do you look back fondly on but refuse to try to play now because you know it'll probably suck?
Mystical Ninja starring Goman.
Oh, good choice.
I loved that game so much when I was younger, but that was quote-unquote athletic me who actually had really great fine motor control, and that game was hard as anything.
Was that the N64 one?
It was.
Yeah.
With giant robot fights, and oh, it was so good. I ain't touching it now, though.
The first thing that came to mind is on Genesis, Decap Attack.
Oh, yeah.
That game holds up.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have guessed that game would be a turd.
I played it a couple years ago. It's still fantastic. Shooting
that face out of your stomach.
That, and you got Chuck D. Head.
Yep.
I've got another one as well. Blue Shadow / Shadow of the Ninja, depending on your region. England was Blue Shadow, over here it was Shadow of the Ninja on the NES, which was a 2D side-scrolling ninja game I played with my sister. 2-player co-op.
Wow, this was a Natsume game.
Yes, it was. And it was incredible and so difficult, and it had the shared lives pool. I believe a long time ago on this show I was talking about it. I couldn't remember the name of it. I remembered. It was Blue Shadow / Shadow of the Ninja, depending on your region.
I just Googled it, and the third link is Shadow of the Ninja NES playthrough, part 1 of 3. It's 6 minutes.
Yep.
NES.
No, let me see. Rygar. I'm scared to go back to.
Rygar, the NES or the PS2 one?
The PlayStation 2 one.
Yeah.
No, you know what you're in for. Like, what's weird is those games age so much better than anything that was attempted 3D model. Like, back in the day.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed when I went back to play Soul Calibur when they had the Xbox Arcade version come out.
Mm-hmm.
That I was disappointed that didn't live up to the memories that I had of playing that game.
Yeah.
Oh, Soul Reaver. Take your pick. Shadow of Kain. Shadow of Kain is one of my favorite Metroidvania games I've ever played. I love that game. I do not want to go back to it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way with Metroid Prime. Like, I want that to live in this amazing spot my brain meets.
Yeah.
Speaking of Legacy of Kain, that reminded me that Darksiders 3 is going to come out this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That trailer is really bad.
Trailers have not been great, but I still have a lot of faith.
I
don't know what they did with her hair. Is it in reverse motion? I don't know. It bugs me.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, though, I did pick up Fury's collection because it was on deep discount for New Year for like $20. So I now have another 2 games in my collection that I need to play.
Last question here from Maximus Prime on Discord. So what do you think the next new big genre in video games is going to be? I have a prediction. I actually think it's going to be a large-scale space sim. So I think No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous have both sort of scraped the edges of that, and I think one company is going to get it right out of the gate or do like a good enough early access that I think everyone's going to be like, hey man, I want to go to space.
I'll be completely honest. I think Elite Dangerous does it right. I think Elite Dangerous has one big problem. It is very difficult to start.
Yep.
That's where No Man's Sky got it 100% correctly. It's a simple to control game.
Yep.
Elite Dangerous is you're sitting in a ship and you're surrounded by buttons and they all do things.
Go pilot this spaceship, dummy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've never
Steel
piloted a
Battalion
spaceship
style.
before?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous, but if they can do that in a fantasy, more fantastical style,
Right.
I think that could be a huge hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. I ain't gonna beat that. Plus, I can't think of anything. So,
I mean,
No.
the only other thing I can think of is that Anthem gets the Destiny formula right, and that pulls in the number of people that Bungie wanted to originally.
yeah, that's true. Oh, I can tell you what I'd like to see be the next big hit. It would be a very large-scale first-person shooter. It's got a ton of action. You might even say it's massive.
Yeah,
And
in a game.
And a game, and it's like, 400 people all fighting on the same battlefield at once. I think that could be a great hit, especially in today's world.
That's it. I agree with you 100% on both of these points. I think a combination of both those things would be incredible.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe that Battlefield or Call of Duty or any of these main things have not aped the formula from MAG.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just do not understand how hard. I mean, how many games do we get with GDI versus NOD? I mean, or United Nations versus the Soviets in Red Alert and things like that. You understand, like, being faction loyal is something very specific. Look, StarCraft is still kicking because people love the races.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is to get that sort of traction with the scale of what MAG produced. For me, the perfect game, first-person shooter style, would be MAG plus Titanfall.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that would be something that would have been incredible.
Well, I mean, talk about looking at your faction stuff. Look at World of Warcraft. I mean, people are getting Horde or Alliance tattoos because they feel so strongly about their one faction. And
I knew people who fell out in real life, solid gold friends who fell out with each other because one switched factions.
yeah, it's crazy. Knobs, I think you bring up a really good point. I think as we're seeing more games get bigger, I think it's easy to think that the next big thing will be not really an MMO, but like a huge game. Like the stuff that MMOs tried to do where it's, thousands of people on the server and you're sort of all set aside from each other, but trying to do something where it's like you and 500 other people in this smaller landmass that are actively interacting with each other.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where, like, playing a game like PUB gives me hope.
Yeah.
For that, because that server list is 100 in seconds.
Yep.
Like that has captured the gaming community. Now, and I think if they do something along the same lines with PUB, the reason why I use Titanfall as an example is having that Titan be a reward for you guys doing doing your jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the micromanaged level at MAG is what made that special. It was an okay shooter, but the chain of command was as perfect as I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
As if you did your job, you got rewarded way more than going rogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then it wasn't all about the KD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the best thing about that as well was like when we were playing that game, you would have a huge, let's say a huge square like oil refinery that you're trying to capture from the other team. Hundreds of people on each side, each broken down and into smaller squads. And when you start, it's you and a squad of 6 maybe two or three squads taking these 3 points, and below you is the same thing, and down is the same thing, and to the other side the same thing, and then you make your way to the next point. Then it's your 2 squads of 6 and this like other 2 squads of 6 combining to make a bigger squad of 12.
You make a platoon, and then a platoon, then a division, and then you had a general directing the division that was directing to the platoon, that was directing to the squad leaders.
Yeah.
It was even to this day, like I still can't believe it worked.
Yeah.
And again, back like in the faction loyalty worked. I mean, sever for life, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I like every time, like I would almost, outside of pure curiosity, I wouldn't touch another division's weapons.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch a Valor weapon or a Raven weapon. I felt dirty.
Yeah.
But the way those battles flowed, it was like you started small, and then as the match progressed, it was like the inverse of PUBG, where PUBG starts big and then gets smaller and smaller and tenser and tenser. Whereas with MAG, it was you started in a small squad, and then your squad grew as you got further inland to meet up with the other squads.
But
and
I think it worked the same way, because you started as a big size. You started spread out, but again, you all condensed into one area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people-wise, though, it was the opposite. Yeah. Like, person-wise, it was big to small, whereas MAG was small to bigger, and it was great. Like, you could see the map, and you would see you took 3 sides of this huge objective, and then the top, let's say the north side was struggling. All of a sudden, you just see swarms of soldiers go up north to help them close the deal.
Oh, it was like watching the blue and being able to talk to being restricted, only talking to your squad and only being within earshot of a blue dot. Mm-hmm. But you could still communicate with the other guys that you weren't in mic with.
Yeah.
Like, how is this not prevalent in everything we play?
Yeah. A game that failed through to be honest, really bad marketing.
And just a lot of bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our episode this week. Very happy to be back. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. All the ways you can contact us are on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget to also join us, visit us at e1m1.com for links to all the other shows.
Oh, don't forget to join us for our game nights. I'm sorry, I was making sure my dog was breathing.
Yeah.
He was laying real still. All right, good boy. Join us for our game nights. Monday night looks like it's a pub fiesta now.
Yep.
I don't see any way around that at this point. Get that PUBG. If you're like, we'll all be in a party together, but I would like to get a few squads to see if we can game it to the point where we all can get in the same game.
Getting a dance party in the middle.
Well, kind of. So the way I do the same thing every time I'm in a lobby, I am in a Where's Waldo striped shirt. I go to the container with the climbable tires, and I take a knee. I am in the same spot every time. If you see me, you know I'm in the game, and I'm wearing no pants. So
there you go, naturally.
Pantless, holster, striped shirt, J-Knob 33. Again, the golf tournaments are every 4 days. There is a new one. There is no break in between these. So looking to get the ranks up on that one. All handicaps are enabled, so it really doesn't matter. Just play your game, and you will be right in line with the rest of us.
Just have some fun.
And again, it's just golf. It's all golf. We're just here to play.
Yep.
No big prize or trophies or anything. Do not be discouraged if you're not shooting well, because your handicap will be adjusted and you will be competitive.
Yeah.
Just give it some time. And plus, if you get really good and you shoot a really good round, you will destroy us.
There you go.
Ask Tomsy for sneaking, I don't know how many tournaments away from us.
Yeah.
So, just come out and play. The game is great. And plus, I just found out that we can make individual outfits for each round we play.
Oh,
so
man.
I have an outfit for every different round I'm playing now. So it's great. As ugly as clothing as I can find.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, Rocket League. I still think it's going on the PlayStation 4. Thursday Steam game night. Hopefully, I can get a VR game night going. If anyone's got a VR headset and wants to play Star Trek Bridge Crew, I think this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Shoot me a DM on Discord or something. Now that I have notifications turned back on, and I figured out that it's not annoying me every 2 seconds.
There you go.
I'm communicating.
And
Friday through the weekend, probably come play PUBG with us because we're going to be playing that game.
JNob33, hit him up. Don't forget this month's game club game is Ziggurat, brought to you by friends of the show, Milkstone Studios. It's a great game. Give it a shot. Yep. We'll be talking about that in about 2 weeks-ish. If you're a patron, you can go vote for the 3 games that are randomly chosen for next month's game club. In patreon.com/E1M1.
And 3 games.
I don't remember. But they're all winners. And don't forget twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, that video game podcast on YouTube. We already talked about patrons, so that's it. Thank you all very much for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
Bye.
Hit me with those titles, Moon.
Wait, is that Spider-Man game coming out this quarter?
No, I think it's coming out in the middle of the year. I didn't see it on the release list.
I just saw Shattered Dimensions over there, and I was like, man, I really want to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, titles. Less like a steaming pile of garbage. Couldn't help it. I'm tiny. Sorry. I'm tiny.
I'm tiny.
Truth bullets to shoot down their lies. Sharpened, coffee table, and you can't afford me, Mr. Moonpierre. For the record, the 3 games are Massive Chalice, Ori and the Blind Forest, and The Mummy Demastered.
Yeah.
Ooh. I kind of want to play Ori.
All 3 of those games are good. Titles I have are Electric Boulevard, The Proverbial Scat. I got way into swinging. She's a total 70%er, and Sharpened Coffee Table.
It's a 70%er.
Moon was talking about his wife's achievement hunting.
The achievement percentages.
It's a real 70%er. It's just almost derogatory. It's like, I mean, I love her, but she's a real 70%er.
That's literally what she ate. Like, she was 100%er, and then she got fed up with it, so she now aims for like 70%.
I mean, I married her, and she was 100%er, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Yak, for joining us.
I like Sharpened Coffee Table. I like
Sharpened Coffee Table a lot.
Yeah, that shut down the conversation. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because Bode and Heiko were all into this, and she's like, I don't want to swing around a sharpened coffee table. Like, that's outstanding.
Oh, man. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 533 for January 8th, 2018. Sharpened Coffee Table.
Let me grab my drink.
It's my class.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching us live or watching the video. Whatever fits your fancy, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.